There it is. Oh, wait. We're pros at this, and y'all haven't seen it. Come on. Full screen. There it goes. Yay, we're pros. Oh, encoding overloaded. Why? Okay, never mind. It's back. All right. Hi, guys. How you doing? Oh, man. We are not pros at this. I apologize. It's kind of laggy, but I think it's going to be okay. Possibly, hopefully, maybe. I don't actually know.
Put these in the fridge. Oh, man.
What'd you put in the fridge?
No, I forgot to put the beers in the fridge.
You didn't put the beers in the fridge? So what? They're just warm? Lukewarm?
Fine.
I mean, that's fair. Hey, guys. How you doing? Let me make sure y'all can hear us. Hold up.
I mean, I guess I got some fake ice cubes in the fridge. I could just go pour me a nice cold one.
Yes, you can hear us. Okay, everything is working. Hi, guys. How you doing? Welcome to the Proper Gaming Lounge, where we review a brew and talk about video game shit. This time it's my turn to pick out the beer. He picked it up last week. If you didn't watch that episode, go check it out. It's still on, YouTube, because YouTube uploads all those streams, unlike Twitch. I will be salty about Twitch forever. But anyways, from the same Rumble Pack from Yards Brewery out of Philly, we got the Level Up Tropical IPA. I still can't figure out how to not mirror my camera, but either way, yeah, this is a 6.5% beer, and I'm very excited for this. It smells amazing.
And it's also gaming related. I mean, I love performers, and just a lot of them have been coming out that have been really, really good lately. And,
yeah. I love this one. Has a bit of a Donkey Kong thing going up. So
and the release of Good Spirits of the Mario movie, which
that too. That actually works out really well. Yeah, that movie came out today. Believe it or not. I have not seen it yet. I may be going to go see it this weekend with my brother, assuming he wants to go see it. We're going.
It came out, but there was like an early release yesterday, so there were already reviews.
That makes sense. Morning. Yeah, it has like a 55% on Rotten Tomatoes and a 7.9 or something like that on IMDb. So I mean, do with that what you will.
I mean, yeah, some of my gaming review channels reviewed it because it's a video game.
Of course.
So it kind of relates. So a lot of them said that it was like, Jack Black was the best part.
Of course. That's not surprising.
Chris Pratt was bland.
Well done.
Like, it was just like, I was just like.
So stuff we basically already knew.
It pretty much just sounds like it was just a mid-ass movie with a lot of fanfare, and Jack Black was the best part. And I'm like, I'm gonna save my $16 for that. I'm good. I can wait till it hits the stream. Like,
I mean,
whatever.
Fair. I really want to go see the movie. I was really hyped for the movie. Not really hyped, but I was like, this looks pretty cool, right? Like, this is setting up for a Super Smash universe. Setting up the Smash universe really freaking well. But I mean, I think we all knew that Chris Pratt was not going to be awesome as Mario. So I'm in it for I saw that
they doesn't make it any less not enjoyable because I know it's going to happen. Yeah, I can mentally prepare, but
yeah.
Ultimately, they wasted it.
Yeah, I mean, fair. They kind of did, but they definitely could have picked a different actor for Mario, and I'm not really sure why they went the Chris Pratt route. I don't know. It is what it is. I mean, we can't change it now. We can't bully another freaking movie production company into changing the entire movie for the fans like we did with Sonic. So
production, when we found out about Chris Pratt, it was pretty much a done deal.
True. I guess changing out a design for a character is a lot less work than recasting the character mid-movie. Also, yeah, this is a real good drink.
Interesting. It's it's a lot surprisingly more bitter than the one that we had last week.
Right? I was expecting it to be a little bit more fruity, a little bit more juicy.
Yeah, this is easy mode on their rate.
Yeah, right.
a beer box as one's easy, one's hard, one's ultimate, and I think one's insane, and one's extreme. And this is the easy mode, and it tastes a little bit more harsh than the,
I wouldn't say harsh.
The hard mode.
I wouldn't say harsh. It's still an easy drink.
It just has more of a bite to it a little bit. I think.
Yeah, no, 100%. I'm trying to find the best way to do this light because this thing is so freaking bright. Up there, maybe? I don't know. It still washes me out incredibly, but oh well, I guess. No, yeah, it has a bite to it. It's way more bitter for a tropical beer, which is interesting.
Right, and it's like it's also less alcohol content, but like it tastes a little bit more bitter.
Yeah. Who knows? Who knows?
It's real.
I still enjoy it. I still think it's
it's good. No, I'm not. So that wasn't my opinion. It's good, but it's just surprising, you know, based on how they marketed it on the box.
I get it. I get it completely.
I feel like I have a high I guess alcohol tolerance to beer, so like I drink like Sour Monkeys all the time. Like they're like 9.5%, you know, so it's just like I feel like for how, and it doesn't taste like bitter at all, so I feel like for how much bitterness there is, I should be getting more drunk, but I won't be. But it's still a good beer. It still tastes good, but like that's how I personally feel about it. But like generally, it's pretty good. It just surprisingly has more of a bite to it than the other one in the higher category. But you live and you learn.
Why is my stream suddenly not in good health? What happened? It's buffering. Okay. I would love to know why.
Actually coming through, or is it?
It's coming through, but it says my stream health is poor. And I don't know why. Yeah, right. I know it's on my internet. My internet's solid. I don't know what's going on. It's definitely my freaking OBS. My OBS is deciding that it doesn't want to be nice. My CPU's at 20%. Why is my... Okay, whatever. Now it's an extra connection. I'm not worried about it. Whatever. My CPU's at 20%. Why is my computer running so hard? Bro, like, chill. My God. I need to get a far better computer. But you know what? It is what it is. Anyways, we're here to talk about some video game stuff. So I apologize if we're a little bit glitchy, laggy, not the best quality. I don't know why. Not my fault. I'm going to blame my crappy laptop. But... Starting off, I do want to talk about some interesting, possibly interesting Sony news. This is my bit. This is my not big news, but stuff I want to talk about because I've been a fan of this since I was a kid. But there's rumors that a new PSP might be on the horizon. And... the PS Vita died out real quick after release, and Sony doesn't have the best track record when it comes to, handhelds. Now, the PSP actually lasted pretty long, considering. Like, it lasted a good, 4 or 5 years before they released the Vita. Like, it had a good run. It had a lot of games.
It had an interesting run. It did.
Yeah.
I had probably 4 or 5. Monster Hunter was really big on the PSP.
See, my first one was Monster Ape Escape. That was my first introduction to Ape Escape, and I adored that game.
Well, I mean, you had Monster Hunter, you had Disgaea, you had Battlefront, Renegade Squadron, you had Dragon Ball Z, Shin Budokai, you had so many, you had, Metal Gear, all the God of War games, they did Crazy Taxi. I knew people that were fucking with Crazy Taxi on that shit.
Seriously. The PSP was also my first introduction to Star Wars Battlefront, believe it or not. I didn't play it on my PS2. But my first time playing Star Wars Battlefront was on the PSP.
I think that was mine as well.
Like, that game was lit.
Yeah, but that's because my parents were strict and I can only play it over friends' houses. I never owned Battlefront 2. I played it.
Oh, really?
Houses, but, like, I never. Like,
your parents were so strict you couldn't play a Star Wars game?
I couldn't get a PS2.
Oh, that's fair.
So that kind of sucked. But but I was able to trade in my DS and I always saved all my games. This is back when trading was big, you know.
Yeah, right.
So I could sell my DS. I sold my DS for like what, $150. Then I sold like 50 of my DS games for like the other 50. Got a PSP, got a game. That was how I got my PSP. Like,
yeah,
I sold everything and upgraded. Like, I upgraded from a Game Boy to a DS by partially selling, and then I upgraded from my DS to my Slim DS, and then from there to the PSP, and then that was my. See,
I never actually had the DS, any of the DSs. I went like my handheld experience started from like the original Game Boy, Nintendo Game Boy, not color, the original gray Nintendo Game Boy,
right.
And then Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance SP, and then I went to my PSP, and that was one of the first systems that my parents actually bought us, because all my other systems I got from my neighbor because he spoiled me rotten.
A neighbor do you have?
Yeah, well, his name was also Patrick, and we were like super, super close. So for whatever reason, he was like my surrogate godfather almost. He wanted to buy me my first car, but unfortunately he didn't. He died from cancer well before then. But the dude was great. The dude spoiled me right. He gave me so much stuff. He was always like, "Hey, you want this? Here you go." He bought me my first M-rated video game, which was what was it? I think it was GTA 4. And then he also got me the Enter the Matrix game, which was awesome. He got me my first PS2 and my first PS3. So yeah, but no, PSP might be coming back, and I am hesitantly, cautiously optimistic, I guess you could say. I don't know why this seems like the best time to do it, because like we have the Steam Deck that's doing numbers right now. Nintendo's just been doing the same friggin' handheld for like almost 10 years now. And it's like, okay, whatever, you do you. You released one thing that give you a better, screen. Okay, cool. Whatever.
They starve their fan base, but that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole other conversation. But like with say what you will about the PlayStation Plus tiers and everything that they're doing and the lack of games and everything, right? But like you can see that Sony is really trying, really trying to do something with their systems. Even if like it comes out half-assed. When it launches, they're really trying.
They're getting desperate because they're being sticklers about shit. Like, they're just putting their, games on the PC. They're just doing this. They're, fighting cross-play and cross-saves. And, they're like, I'm just like, bro, you got to get with the times, man. Like, I got my Steam Deck over here. I can emulate. I can cloud save with my PC. I can take it anywhere. It is literally a portable thing that I can use for browsing, internet, I could use it for literally whatever I want. It's literally a mini PC, with the pricing being a steal, to be honest with you. And so I'm like, Sony, you realize we've had a leap in handheld gaming in the past 3 or 4 years. Things that, like, you got all these handheld PCs out here that are maybe more expensive than the Steam Deck and maybe even can outperform the Steam Deck. But, like, it's just like you have all these handheld consoles coming out, handheld PC things coming out that are really pushing forward what you can do with the handheld. So like, Sony, are you going to make that step? Are you going to make it that accessible and have it that freedom?
I hope so.
Have emulation, and is it going to be able to play PS5?
Okay. Well, here's the thing. Like, we're not really looking at emulation and stuff because this is not going to be a Windows device like the Steam Deck is, right? This is going to be a Sony platform device, so of course it's going to connect.
Who didn't hack their PSP though?
Fair. I did it because I didn't know how to do that shit when I got it, but all other thing. But with everything Sony's doing in terms of, you know, they're really trying to up the whole, you know, cloud streaming. What the heck?
Like, if it's not going to be able to do what Steam Deck does.
Now it's saying I
like,
don't have any data. What is happening with it? Now, what? Okay, this is super weird. Anyway, sorry. Everything Sony's doing in terms of, like, you know, cloud streaming with the different PS Plus tiers. If you get PlayStation Plus Premium, you can do cloud streaming for certain games. But apparently, this is according to GSM Arena, and this was today, literally today. It says that a new report details the PlayStation Q Lite handheld device, which is in the QA testing phase right now, right? It's nothing serious. But it's basically described as a new handheld device that it has like a PlayStation 5 DualSense controller with an 8-inch LCD screen in the middle. So it's supposed to, I don't know if they're trying to do like a full-fledged like PSP style thing, or if this is specifically going to be like a companion to the PlayStation 5, specifically for like remote play and stuff like that. Where like, right. you know, like what freaking Google Stadia was trying to do, basically, where you can play everything on your phone or on your screen or computer or whatever. Basically have this device, handheld device, as a companion to your PS5, so you, when you're not on your PS5 or you don't want to be in front of your TV or monitor or whatever, you can take this on the go and cloud stream all your stuff that's on your PS5 in this device. And I don't hate that. I kind of like that. That kind of makes sense. Brand new PlayStation Portable style device, right? That would be the better way to go about things.
I mean, yeah, but then you have to worry about internet. Like, if you leave the house and you don't have internet connection, then what the fuck good is cloud streaming? Like, you're going to want to download it to your device and play it on your device.
The PS Vita, I believe, had like cellular connection capabilities, if I'm not mistaken. Didn't they have that? I thought you could like get a plan through like Verizon or whatever to give you like, you know, service outside, Wi-Fi or whatever, to have basically have like data, mobile data essentially, to play games.
At this point, cloud streaming is not strong enough to be able to have a console dedicated to it. They have to focus on being able to download
That's why Stadia
things to
died.
a console. Yeah, they have to focus on downloading things to to your handheld and being able to play them. Like, that's what I said. Is this handheld going to be able to play PS5 games? If it's not, it's DOA.
Well, no, of course. I mean, if they release anything, of course it's going to be able to play PS5 games. Like, if it doesn't, what the hell is the point?
Exactly.
What's the point?
History shows that Sony handhelds have always been underpowered and underappreciated. So
I wouldn't say the PSP was underpowered at all. The PSP was a powerhouse. Like, that thing was crazy.
It still had a lot of lag and a lot of pop-in and a lot of...
I mean, yeah, but also, to be fair, a lot of PS3 games at the time had all those issues as well. So, I mean, it was working with the tech that it had available.
Yeah, it was still downgraded. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, of course. I mean, it was like a, 720p screen?
It wasn't playing... Right. Exactly. It wasn't playing PS2 games, and the PS Vita wasn't playing PS3 games.
No, they had dedicated games for the PSP and PS Vita. Like,
exactly. This new console has to play console games.
Yeah.
Has to be able to play AAA games at the desired frame rate. If not, it is going to be DOA. What would be the point? Why am I going to spend $500 on something that I can't even play what the PS5 can play? And
You're
that's
right.
$500.
No, 100%. And like I said, like, this is coming straight from GSM Arena, who apparently did like a whole article about this. They said that like the device will be able to stream PS5 games, but will not be able to play games on its own without an internet connection. So it's, like I said, a companion to the PS5.
Oh my God, this is not going to go. Do you know how many places people would like to take that? And they're not going to have internet connection? For example, everybody, I will not be on the show next week because I will be on vacation. And you know what I'm taking with me? My Steam Deck. You know what I can play in the airplane in airplane mode? My Steam Deck. You know what I can play in Dominican Republic where I'm going in case I don't have internet?
Damn,
my
you got a
Steam
DR.
Deck.
All right, let's go, bro.
I have an offline mode. I can play. I can, as long as I download everything I need to, I can play whatever I want on my Steam Deck. Like, it does not matter.
So this
you're
thing
going to tell
this,
me you're going to try and have a portable device that can't do anything offline? Like, you know how many places like internet is spotty in this world? Like,
oh, I completely understand, dude. I suffered with that when I was in Mexico. Okay, shit was rough, but like, I get it. But to be fair, this is also just in the QA phase. So it's going to be a long time before anything actually comes of this. So, and anything could happen between now and by the time this is an actual real thing. But
it better. They better think twice.
Yeah. Like, I really hope, like, I would welcome a legit, like, you know, Steam Deck level or at least Switch level PlayStation handheld, right? Like, even if it's a companion, but like can download stuff onto its own system and play on its own without having to be connected to the PS5. Like, that is where it needs to be. That's what needs to happen. If it's just, you know, the side stuff that just streams PS5 games, then no, it's not worth it whatsoever.
And that's the problem. That's the issue with a lot of people complaining about games that are offline or single player that still have to be connected to the internet. It's just like, well, when the time comes where like you want to create a handheld that like can play things offline, but you can't play things offline because you need DRM checks or whatever the fuck. So you need an internet connection for a single player game. Then like, once again, what is the point of a portable console that can't do anything offline?
The whole point of being portable is to take it wherever you want and be able to play your stuff when you're not on your console. Like, that is the biggest point. That's why the Steam Deck is so impressive.
So I need them to. I after the PS, I was like, look, all right, guys, I get it. Handhelds aren't your thing. Don't do this again. Just don't try. Like, Microsoft has yet to try to put out a handheld. Seriously, you know. But
I mean, Microsoft did. Well, kind of. Like, it's not really a Microsoft handheld. It's a Valve handheld, but still.
But that's what I'm saying. That's the thing. It's like, well, now you have this third-party person that took care of that for you. Microsoft did it smart. They have two consoles on the market, and one is the oldest console of all time, and the other one, they just decided to say, fuck it, and make popular in the 2000s just because they could. Like, oh my God. Like, what? Now they got
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And now you got these third-party developers making handhelds so they can play the next-gen games at 30 or 60 frames per second on a handheld. You can have a console experience on the handheld, and it's exactly the same console experience that you have on your PC.
Exactly.
Or you would have on another console. Like, it's insane. Like, I can play Spider-Man PS4 on my Steam Deck at a nice, comfortable frame rate and kick ass and just have fun and anywhere.
How many emulations did you get for your Steam Deck? Holy shit.
No, that I brought the new, because, you know, Spider-Man got ported to PC, so.
Oh, that's right, it did. I forgot it did that. Totally forgot that happened.
Such a beautiful thing with the connection, because anything I buy on Steam, I'm like, I have it on automatically on my PC and on my Steam Deck, so I'm buying games for two consoles at the same time. The convenience is uncanny, and I can stream between the two, and I can hook my Steam Deck up to the HDMI on the TV and make it a Switch, and I can. It's just so. Sony, are you going to have all these things for me?
Exactly.
No. So like I said, DOA. I'm sorry. Sony's not been great with handhelds. They're being really stingy these days.
Yeah,
they're PlayStation stars to try and catch up with Nintendo and, you know, their money thing. Like, if you buy a game on Nintendo, you get like Nintendo points to use to buy games. I only bought like 4 games.
I mean, Sony's doing that now too.
But the difference is, Sony's being scummy about it, because when I first got my Nintendo, I bought like maybe 4 games, and after that, I had enough money to buy at least 3 or 4 games. Sony's like, yo, you gotta have like 30,000 Sony points to buy a game.
Well, I mean,
how many points? And how many points? Yeah, how many points do you get per task? 50. How the fuck am I supposed to get the 30,000 and you only giving me 50 coins per task?
I don't think it's 50
different.
coins. Like,
So,
I want to see how many I have because I haven't bought that many games, but.
Like, once again, Sony's being scummy, trying to catch up and seem like they're doing something for the customer, but they're not.
So, no. So I'm going to push back on that a little bit because, like, they give you significantly more points than just 50, right? I've only bought in a handful of games since PlayStation Stars came out, and I already have over 2,000 points.
2,000 points.
Plus, they give you points for, like, you know,
and how much does
just
it
logging in. They also give you points for any trophies or activities or anything.
And how many points does it take to buy a game?
I'm trying to figure that out right now because I actually don't know.
See, if you had 2,000 points on Nintendo, you would have been able to buy 4 or 5 games already. That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
I think that's a little bit of an overreach. I don't think it's that. I don't think it's at that level. I don't.
You have a Nintendo Switch?
You know what?
Okay, then.
You know what?
I'm literally living this. You cannot deny me my experience. I have a Nintendo Switch.
So 1,000 Nintendo points is only $10.
I could get on Nintendo for $10. Like,
but I'm saying like 1,000 Nintendo points is only about $10.
But that's the thing. By the time you get 1,000 points, you already have enough money to buy a game.
How
Nintendo,
though?
it is not the case.
How? I'm trying to figure that out though, because like.
And then you catch Nintendo sales where they be putting games on for $5, $2 or $3. Bro, you can get a steal of the game with 1,000 points.
I mean,
Sony's not doing that.
Fair, but I mean, like, I'm also trying to figure out like where the hell the points are exactly, but it's not telling me what I can redeem with my points. At least not on the app. Not on the app. The app is also fucking weird.
Proving my point. They're scummy about it.
The app is also hella weird. So, I mean, they got to work on their app for sure. The app is annoying as all hell.
Oh, my God.
The app is like one of the most annoying things in the world, and I don't like the app.
So you got
whatsoever.
that, and then these stupid-ass PlayStation tiers. And it's like, yo, these...
Yeah, the tiers need work. Like...
Half-assed. Oh, my God.
The tiers need a lot of work.
If you're sitting there trying to capture and catch up because, you know, other people are having success with this thing and you all of a sudden want to jump in the pool, think twice. Think twice, because you're not gonna keep up with it. You're not gonna keep up with it. You're not gonna do it right. You tried to catch up with Microsoft with the PlayStation Plus Essentials. Now you're adding games that are glitched out, can't even function right, and it's a PS1 game.
Yeah, they don't do well with ports. I mean, we saw that with The Last of Us PC port, which apparently is absolutely atrocious. So it's like, what are you doing over here exactly? Like,
yeah, and they fucked up nature on that because like
that should have been a slam dunk. You know, The Last of Us is one of the greatest video games ever made, and this PC port should have been a slam dunk. How are you telling me that you can port over freaking Spider-Man PS4 and it was totally fine? But you can't port over an older game, even like the remake. Like, you had the remake right there. Port that over. It should not be an issue. What's happening here?
I mean, they fucked up because like we're on Steam. We can get refunds, and we do not fucks around with our money, especially.
Hey, I got my refund. It worked out. I got my refund for my game. But Steam's refund policy is
it's a fucking law. It is a staple. I don't even have to talk to a real person. I do a couple clicks. Thank you. Yeah. Your money will be to you by 7 to 8 business days. Done and done.
Far better. Far better. I'm not even gonna lie. The refund policy on Sony or PlayStation is just ridiculous. But
Sony is messing up because once people realize how easy things are on other platforms, they're going to leave. They're going to be tired of the bullshit. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, you're not wrong. People say with PlayStation just for the exclusives exclusively. That's about it. That's the only thing Sony's got going for them. Like Xbox has that really, really good performing console, but they still can't get their games up to 60, which is embarrassing. And then Sony has a decently performing console, but they got the games to back it up. And their games
Xbox is playing is playing the long game.
Xbox is playing the long game, but they're coming out with like 3 exclusives. And that's it. So even their long game still doesn't match up. So I mean,
because they had their first exclusive that was a fucking shadow drop and did fucking numbers, my guy. So if you look at their long game, it is. You look at their long game, they may not release a lot of games, but the ones they have been releasing have been quality. You know, Hi-Fi Rush, Boom Boom.
No, I completely agree with you there, buddy. Completely agree with you there. Hi-Fi Rush looked lit, and I really want to play it.
I got you. Don't worry. Best friend bonus. I got you.
Best friend bonus. All right, so this brings us to another topic of conversation, which is...
No, that pulls into some of the gaming news we got this week. So, speaking of games speaking of games in multiple generations, we got No Man's Sky with a brand new content update that apparently fixes the combat and helps with, a lot of the rest of the groans that were things that people wanted to get fixed, which was really dope. And it's just like they've been working on the game for like 10 years. And it's
longer, dude. That game, I adore Hello Games so freaking much because they just keep on putting work and work and work into that game, and every single thing that they release in that game is free. All right, every single update, there are microtransactions, there is a whole store and everything, but the game, it's like all the updates that they have for it are completely free. They work tirelessly on that game to make it something that's so good. People still play it too. Man, I am so happy with Sean Murray and the team at Hello Games. They keep doing good work. Thank you guys so much for sticking with that game. More than can be said from EA. So you guys rock. Keep doing good shit. Every single time there's an update, I always jump back into it, and then I sink another 50 hours into No Man's Sky because there's so much shit to do. It's definitely a game you can literally live in, basically. Yeah, and it's so good. So good. Oh.
So glad. Yeah, and I think I really am proud of that game that just made such a comeback. And then on top of that, there was a content update for Metal Hellsinger, another game that I am so happy that they're still putting work.
I still have to play it. I haven't even played it yet.
Oh, it's so good. The songs are so well done. The audio quality is top notch, and when you get into the zone, everything just flows, man. It's just so good. And they added 2 new songs. I think a new map. They added a new weapon, which I have yet to try out. And they added a couple other things, and it's just it's one of my favorite games I released last year. I'm so glad that it keeps getting support. Oh my god!
Speaking about Metal Hellsinger, there's a game that I thought that you might be hella into, because it's kind of like I guess you could say Doom meets Mario Maker, and it looks like a lot of fun. But that's Meet Your Maker that released free on PS Plus this month. It's a brand new game, and it's one of those games that Sony's releasing free on PS Plus, which is cool. It has mixed reviews though, because apparently the fun factor is just but it still looks entertaining
because people
enough.
Are just making over exaggerated levels that people die in 2 seconds in?
Well, no, because from what I heard, because I been watching a lot of gameplay for it, because it's one of those games that is blowing up on TikTok. So a lot of TikTok gamers are playing it, which I love. I love seeing that shit. But apparently, there's not a whole lot of verticality to the game. There's zero platforming, which is a huge issue. It's just straight, and you can do ramps and curves and stuff like that, and that's it. Like, there's no actual platforming capabilities in the game whatsoever, which is a huge bummer.
Well, didn't people complain when they were playing Doom and they said it was too much platforming?
I love that platforming in Doom. I thought that was lit. That was my favorite part about Doom.
People in their opinions, man. Oh man, I hate platforming sections.
Like, whatever. But I love that shit.
I mean, that's what I said. But like, I don't know, man. That game kind of caught my eye, but like, I didn't really care for it. Like, I had many other FPSs that are a lot more fun looking.
Fair, totally fair. I mean, this one definitely looks rough, but it also looks like a game that they'll support for a while and make it into something really cool,
something really good.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be the hope. I mean, I don't know. I feel like game preservation is really, really important more nowadays than ever because games have servers and like they're like, oh, this might not be up like 2-3 years from now. Like one of my favorite racing games at the time, Onrush, like their servers got cut like a couple years ago, and I was like, man, I love that game. I used to sink hours into that game late night talking shit to people online, fucking crushing them with my goddamn bulldoze truck or whatever, and laying into them. Oh my god, Onrush was such a fun racing game, and I feel like
Onrush was interesting to say the least. Like it had its moments, and we played that a couple times on the channel. Go check it out. We played it quite a bit actually. Whenever you were doing a video with me, like that was back when we were still playing. Videos and talking, or still playing video games and talking about whatever was going on that week. But it was fun. It was enjoyable, but it didn't have a whole lot of didn't have a lot to keep me there playing. After you play like all the different maps, which were only like 3, and they only had like a handful of cars that you could use. It was just like, they lost it really quick for me.
I mean, they added to it. Like by the time it was over, like you had 7 classes of cars. Like,
true, they did add some stuff to it. I haven't played it in the longest time.
It's so much fun. But like I don't know, it's really important just because I see all these games that have come out, developers just drop them or just don't care about them, and it's just like, well, this was really good, but like. They don't want to invest in it anymore. A good example was that zombie one on PlayStation, that exclusive.
That narrows it down.
With the guy, the Doomsday guy, he was in that.
Freaking not DayZ. Days Gone.
Days Gone.
Yeah, it's Days Gone. Days Gone? I'm pretty sure it's Days Gone. Might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Days Gone. Yeah, Days Gone. I was right.
Yeah.
Days Gone was a great game. I freaking loved that game. But
I was right, sir. But yeah,
it didn't get like it caught on much later, and it still didn't get the audience that it should have gotten. And to be fair, it starts off extremely slow, and it is slow for a while.
It got millions of sales. Like it did its numbers that it needed to, but they were just and then they asked them to re-review it. They were just like, "Yo, could you just look at these sales we just got in the past 3 years? Let us get a sequel. Let us get the money for a sequel." So they were just like, "Nah." Still flails.
Yeah, that was a bummer. What? That was a huge bummer. It's like, come on, Sony, what are you doing here? Like, this is something that should have been a no-brainer.
I'm telling you, man, they've been making bad decisions for years. All right, so like, I am not hype about this new theoretical handheld console.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, game preservation is for sure something that definitely should be,
and you know what? Proof that
kept
it's not
in mind.
Proof that it's not on Sony's mind. Look at VR and VR2, not reverse compatible. Why did they not learn their lesson? Why did they not learn their lesson?
I don't know what's going on with Sony and their reverse compatibility. I don't know why they cannot get that shit down. I really don't. It's not that difficult. Xbox does it constantly. All the other VR can do backwards compatibility. It's like, what do you do? Sony has always had an issue with backwards compatibility ever since the freaking PS3, PS2. Like, they've been having issues forever, and I don't understand why.
That's like a precious antique even now, and that's going to be even more precious in the future because there was only like 60 consoles, PS3 consoles made that can play the PS2 and the PS3.
Seriously,
that was like the very, very first rollout, and that was a big marketing That was a big marketing thing. Like, you could play both of them, and like I remember getting my PS3, and I'm like, "Can I play both of them?" They were like, "No."
Well, no, like you could, but only if it was a certain type of disc. Because I remember trying to. No, wait, no, that was the PS2. The PS2, you could only play certain PS1 games if it was like not that purple disc. Do you remember when the PS1 games had like that purple disc? Yeah. The purple disc did not work in my PS2 for whatever freaking reason. Like, just would never work. But other systems, they would work fine, but they couldn't play the regular discs. So it was like, what is happening here? And ever since then, they've been scared to, make that happen. Now, PS4 to PS3 made a little more sense because PS3 games were all like that Blu-ray shit. Because they went balls deep in Blu-ray tech. So every single PS3 game was Blu-ray. And then that disappeared. It's like, what is happening? And they shot themselves in the foot hard with that. That was a big L.
I mean, if they could just do their emulation shit like they should, but no, they don't want to.
Even with the PS5, like the PS5 can play the PS4 games, but like the discs I think are still kind of weird though. Like they can play the digital games, no problem.
Right.
And I still think it supports PS4 discs. I might be wrong about that though.
I really didn't care because I stopped buying digital.
Well, no, never mind. I'm right. Yeah, you can still play PS4 discs because I have all my PS4 discs that I've played already. Like I can play Jedi Fallen Order and shit like that, and Ghost of Tsushima. And I also play Cyberpunk, so never mind. I'm wrong. Yeah, it can play PS4 discs,
discs don't matter as much anymore because a lot
of times they really don't.
The disc is only the install. Like everything still gets installed on your fucking.
Yeah. The disc is just there for show at this point.
It's insane,
I don't really understand why, but I mean, it is what it is. Like, before you could just, throw in a disc, boot it up, and play immediately. Now, you have to wait for it to install on your system, and then you can play it after a while. It's just like, oh my god. Most annoying thing in the world.
And then, that's the thing. Like, I feel like, if you give somebody a disc, right? Shouldn't they be able to have full convention of what they use it for? Like, shouldn't they be able to just, like, you remember when you bought a disc, it was yours. You could play it for as long as you wanted, or a cartridge, or whatever.
Well, I mean, you can still do that. You can still do
that. Not really, because, like, if the disc is just there for show, the people can either just turn off the servers, or just...
Well, servers only... You do realize that servers only matter for online titles. And...
Yeah, but there's a lot of single players that require online connection.
We talked about this last week. The majority of online or single player games don't require an online connection. Friggin' Ghost of Tsushima doesn't need to be online. Jedi Fallen Order, Witcher, Assassin's Creed, Metro, Cyberpunk, none of those games need to be online. And they're all single player games. So all those games you could just boot up and play, even if I mean,
not everybody plays those specific games. There's still a whole realm of other games.
Okay, basically every single PS4 single player game didn't need to be online unless it had like an online mode to the game. You don't need to be online for a single player experience. All right. The majority of those games you do not need. There was like one or two games in the PS4 that you needed to be online even just to play single player.
No.
Which games?
the Need for Speed games, you need to be online.
Because there's a multiplayer and it's a live service game. That's different.
No, it's still a single player game.
But it's also a live service game.
But it has an online mode.
And it's a live service game.
Even if you were offline, you still had to need the internet connection.
I'm telling you, it's a live service game. That's different.
Hell, fucking Gran Turismo 7 needs an internet connection to be playing the game, even if you're in single player.
That's also live service.
That doesn't matter.
Yeah, dude, the reason's in the name. If it's a live service title, it needs an internet connection to get the latest shit.
No, if it has an offline mode and if that's a single player mode, why do you still need to be connected to the internet? If that's the case,
it's live service.
Exactly. If that's the case, then just have the live service part be connected to the internet, not the whole game. But that's not
the
how
whole
it
game
works.
is live service, dude. That's built into the core of the game. That's the thing.
I'm talking about the single player component.
I know. I'm saying even some single player games, as long as there is an online component and as long as it's a live service game, it's going to be completely different.
Yeah, there are other games that aren't live service that still need internet connection.
Which ones?
Do I really have to say it?
Yes.
No, I'm not going to.
Then shut up. Bring examples or don't bring it up. Like, I almost guarantee there's not any actual single player game that requires an internet connection unless it's an actual live service game.
No, not true.
Tell me, show me. There's not many. There might be a handful, but there's not many. It's not as widespread as you're thinking it is.
Actually, yeah.
It's not.
Quantum Break, StarCraft, Diablo, Need for Speed, Suicide Squad, Mario Run. Shut the fuck up, dude. Like, literally, it took me 5 seconds to Google.
Quantum Break? Like, I can't say anything about Quantum Break. That's a Microsoft game.
All right then, chill. Which means that
I'm saying there's not a lot though.
No. If I can 5 seconds, that means that there's a lot more than what you're thinking. So anyway, yes, it is an issue.
Okay,
Jesus
I can
Christ.
already tell you, I can already give you examples for a lot of these. Mario Run is a mobile game. No shit. It's a mobile game. Most mobile games require you to be online. That's different. Suicide Squad, live service. Need for Speed, live service. Elite Dangerous is an online game to begin with. It's not a single player game. Diablo 3, live service game. StarCraft 2, I actually don't know about StarCraft 2. Quantum Break, I had no idea about Quantum Break. Gran Turismo 7, pretty sure it's live service. Hitman 3 is live service.
No,
it is though, isn't it? Is it Gran Turismo 7 live service?
No.
Like, you can play the arcade mode in Gran Turismo 7. There is an offline game in Gran Turismo 7. You can still play offline.
Yeah, but you still need an internet connection to play offline.
No, like there's a legitimately offline version, but it's just like the demo. Gran Turismo has always been like that, though. Gran Turismo has always been like that.
When it came out, the servers were down and you couldn't even play offline single mode, and that was a big fucking issue. So yeah, it's a single player game.
Like I said, Gran Turismo 7 has always been kind of scummy with that shit. But I'm saying there's not a lot. It's not like a huge amount of. It's not like the majority of single player games require you to be online.
Sir, you can hush. It is an issue. Let's move on.
I'm saying it's not as big of an issue. It could be, but right now it's not. It probably could be in the future. I could see that being a much bigger issue than it is now.
It's still an issue.
I don't think it's that bad because, like, most of the games that I played or single player games that I bought in the last 5 years haven't required any internet connection whatsoever.
Always complaining about not having a lot of time to play video games. So how much weight does that carry?
A lot, because the last 5 years I've actually played a shit ton of games. I didn't play a lot last year, but the year before I did, like shit. When I first started this series, or this channel, I was playing a ton.
10 years ago, man.
Exactly. Exactly. It was 5 years ago, by the way, not 10. We are not a 10-year-old channel. We are not a 10-year-old channel. We are 5 years old.
It's okay if your wrinkles are showing, my guy.
My God, I swear to God.
We love them.
But game preservation in general, Sony needs to get on top of the backwards compatibility, because that is a huge glaring issue that makes no sense of why that's still an issue. If Xbox can do it, like, fucking hell, come on. Digital game, they're digital games. Like, I get it if it's a physical issue, right? Because PlayStation 3 is a PlayStation 3, and they're special. But digital games should be able to be played anywhere.
I mean, you would think, right? But that's just not the world we live in.
I'm not a tech genius, but come on now.
I mean, that's just not the world we live in.
Dumb.
So, I mean, and speaking of the world we live in that's unfair, we have so many games that have gotten canceled in the past.
Seriously, we have.
Speaking of game preservation, there's so many games that had such great ideas that never got to come to fruition, and just...
I'm still mad about Anthem.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still mad about Anthem.
Developers could persevere and pull a No Man's Sky and keep going and making it something beautiful, and sometimes, you know, they quit before it could really get good. You know, we've had a lot of examples of games like that. So one of my favorites that never came to be was probably Star Wars 1313.
Oh my God, yes.
I remember when that got announced back in, like, what, 2011, 2012, and it was that, like, 3 to 8 minute demo, like, version where, like, blood and guts was everywhere, and you're just sniping shit, and it was supposed to be an immature game, and just had this really dark tone that wasn't about the Jedi, and it was supposed to be it had such fucking promise, you know.
Well, 1313 was supposed to be a prequel for Boba Fett. It was supposed to be the story of Boba Fett, like, becoming who he was in Star Wars, and it was oh my God, it was basically a sequel to Jedi or Star Wars Bounty Hunter, essentially, because that one you were Jango Fett. But yeah, that game, oh my God, that game would have been so cool, because it would have been one of the very few FPS Star Wars games, because we don't have much of them. It was just Star Wars Battlefront. That was basically it.
It was third person.
Oh yeah, you're right. It was third person. My bad. Still, it was a shooter, and we don't have that many Star Wars shooters besides Battlefront.
It was just, like, really dark and gritty, and that's what...
Yeah, it looked lit.
You know, when I remember before it was brought by the one that rules them all, like, it used to be dark and have dark turns and be interesting. Now it's all just this one monotone, very bland, just... Star Wars has been destroyed. But
yes and no. I mean... Star Wars Battlefront 2 actually got really good after a couple updates, and
after they realized they were being scummy assholes.
Yeah,
like,
after they fixed it and fixed the whole, like, you know, microtransaction pay to win issue, it actually got really good. And the Jedi Fallen Order games have been incredible. Well, was incredible. Second one looks lit.
I mean, you gotta face it. Once Disney bought Star Wars, it was never the fucking same, man. I mean, they came out with some occasional good stuff here.
Yes and no. I mean, The Mandalorian has been awesome. Obi-Wan Kenobi was really good. Boba Fett was bad. Boba Fett was bad. There's movies. The movies are horrible. Okay, I'll give you the movies. The sequel trilogy was garbage, and even those actors don't want to be related to those movies anymore. Okay, that's how bad they were. All right, God.
That's the meat and bones of Star Wars. They didn't get started with anything else. So it was.
I could talk about Star Wars for freaking ever, my guy. Believe me. But no, I mean, yeah. Since Disney got them, it's been weird. But it seems like video game wise, Star Wars is starting to turn around. What the hell did I just drop?
Oh yeah, it's been like Fallen Order. I think Fallen Order and and Jedi Survivor have to be broken off into an alternate timeline. That,
Serious.
you know,
No, I don't even want it to be broken off into an alternate timeline.
like,
I want to see that game. I want to
like,
see Cal Kestis in live action.
No,
God.
where there's quality Star Wars media coming out. You know, on the other side of this, like Disney, like whatever the fuck. Fair. You know, this is art right.
Like, okay. So like, all the spin-off stuff for Star Wars has been awesome, right? Bad Batch was lit. Clone Wars, the final season, was absolutely gold. Andor, oh my God, Andor was so good. Even the Star Wars stories.
I'm sorry.
What?
Andor was boring. I didn't really.
Andor was amazing. It was political as hell, but that was the point.
So slow. I mean,
it was slow. That was the point.
It had some highlights, but ultimately,
it was like a Game of Thrones Star Wars show, and I love that because Rogue One is one of my favorite Star Wars movies ever. Like Rogue One was amazing.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite. It's probably my favorite post Episode 6.
Yeah, like I like.
Sorry, post Episode 3 movie. It's probably my favorite post Episode.
Yeah.
3.
And I don't care what anyone says. I still really like Solo. I thought that movie was so much fun. It's not anything amazing. It's not incredible, but it was a lot of fun. I like heist movies, and I like Han Solo lore, so I was into it. But no, Rogue One is like, I think Rogue One might be my favorite Star Wars movie. Like, it used to be Empire, but it might be Rogue One at this point. God, that movie's so freaking good.
It's really good, and I mean, it did fill in some gaps, and it was like, oh, that's cool, but then I was like,
I loved it. I loved it to death.
I also really don't care for Mandalorian.
What is wrong with it? Mando is great.
It's alright. I mean, it's just some guy in a helmet transforming to Baby Yoda, then the Baby Yoda decides to go to Star Wars, then the Star Wars don't like Baby Yoda because Baby Yoda did this, that, third, and then... Well, I mean, no... Baby Yoda's kind of crazy, and then tries to commit murder a couple times, and then just...
Did you finish season 2?
Yeah, I did. I just really don't care for the show. Like, I didn't care for it when I watched the first couple episodes. Then I was like, let me give it a chance 3 or 4 years later, and I still really don't fucking like it.
Like, season 3 isn't hitting as hard for me, but it's getting there. It's slowly getting there. The last episode is really cool because they're actually trying to, like, do the whole thing with, like, bringing back Mandalore and trying to retake Mandalore, and that's kind of cool for me. I kind of like that. But, I mean, I absolutely adore the show. I think it's incredible. I've been into it since the beginning. My ringtone is the Mandalorian whistle. So, yeah, I freaking love that shit.
I mean, I more or less found Jango Fett more interesting or more...
That's fair. Jango Fett was lit. Jango Fett was super cool. And I kind of wish they would have done more with his character.
Sorry, Boba Fett. My bad. The Book of Boba Fett.
The Book of Boba Fett was a horrible ass show.
I thought it was alright.
That show was so bad. I mean, I will gatekeep the shit out of this. The Book of Boba Fett started off really, 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 really good. Started off really, really promising. I liked the whole shit with him and the Sand People. That was really cool. But then it started to get into like this whole weird, cheesy ass, like that whole chase scene with the speeders going like 2 miles an hour. Like, what the hell was that?
I mean, at least it had a premise besides transforming a baby across the universe for no goddamn reason. Like,
there was a reason. There was a reason since the beginning. Maybe you didn't watch it, but there was a reason.
Yeah, the reason was because he was going to be a Jedi. Then he decided to not be a Jedi. Then he decided to go back to Mr. Mandalore. And now it's
that shit was actually the fault of Kathleen Kennedy. And fuck you, Kathleen Kennedy. You're ruining Star Wars. I really wish that like Disney would fire her and let Dave Filoni and freaking oh my god, what guy from Iron Man head the entire Star Wars from here on out, because they have been absolutely killing it with Star Wars shit. Happy Hogan, I forget his freaking name. What's his name? Oh my god, it's gonna bug me now. What's his name? Jon Favreau. That guy. He's awesome. I love him to death. Let him and Dave Filoni split up, Star Wars. Let's just let both of them head Star Wars, get rid of Kathleen Kennedy because she sucks, and let them head it, and I would be so happy. Oh my god. But no.
I mean,
Book of Boba Fett was like half good.
Sure, they're like their offspring shit is, good, and then like finally, you get some good Star Wars content, but like and now because and then Disney also canceled another game that I wanted to come out, which was Split Second 2. Split Second is like one of my favorite racing games ever, and to be surprised,
that was weird.
Something so violent and something so exciting could be made by Disney and produced by Disney. It's just baffling to me. And they were working on the second one, and then Disney was just like, ha, no. And then just shut that shit down. And I'm just like, yo, that shit. It gave you such a James Bond feel. The graphics were the graphics held up still well into the PS4 era. It was just an impressive looking game at that point as well. And it was just a fun game, man. It had co-op. It had split screen. It had the online. Like it was really dope. I could play it offline. It was awesome, So and that's probably my favorite racing game, and they just kind of canceled it.
Speaking about Disney racing games, did you hear about the Mario Kart clone that they're coming out with called Disney Speedstorm?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Everybody heard about that, right?
Yeah, that hits early access this month.
Oh fuck it! I don't give a shit.
It literally looks like Mario Kart with, Disney characters.
I literally have 3 other games. I have 2 games that went to early access today that I have to get, and then I have like 4 other games that comes down to early access throughout the month, and then I gotta pay for Star Wars at the end of the month. So
That's right. Star Wars comes out this month, doesn't it?
Yeah, Star Wars Jedi Survivor comes out.
I totally forgot.
You're kidding me. If I'm not taking the day to play that shit day one, I swear to God.
Yeah, that might be a game that we can't really play it on stream, but that's definitely going to be a game we talk about during the Proper Gaming Lounge, for sure. We're doing a review of that the first week.
Got a whole beard now. Oh yes, I can't wait for all that it's about to get.
Dude, they have so many different customization options they're doing for this dude. You can customize. You can give Cal Kestis a mullet. All right. What the hell? You can give him the Gen Z curly hair. What the hell? You can customize everything from the hair, the beard. You can customize the coat to the pants and boots. I'm you can do so much with this now. And I'm
the first game they were ass with it. I was just
all you could do was the outfit and then the poncho, and that was it. That was boring. The poncho. There's 5 good ponchos, and that was it. That was it. There's 5 good-looking ponchos.
And then they tried to make up for it by giving you the Sith armor, but it was just the damage is.
I never really cared about the Inquisitor armor and shit like that, because I'm it makes no sense for you to run around as an Inquisitor fighting Inquisitors. Freaking why?
You could say that he stole it and uses it to blend in and then just go with the guard down. But
headcanon is what it is, but I don't know. It's just for looks. It does look cool. I'm not gonna lie. He looks good in black, but
the one thing I loved about Star Wars, and they had this in their games for years, is their customization options. I remember, when Force Unleashed came out.
Oh my god. All his outfits are lit.
Pink saber, orange saber. You can have a Sith robe. You can have a Sith.
Dude, that Sith acolyte you got post game. That thing was so dope. I loved that outfit. Oh my god.
One of my favorites.
Holy shit, that was cool.
And even in they re-released Jedi Outcast and Jedi Academy on PlayStation. And
right.
You could, even with the games back in the 90s and early 2000s, you could customize all that stuff. And they gave you cheat codes. You could
I miss the era of cheat codes, dude.
You could just do whatever, bro. You could be sitting in the first level.
I miss the era of cheat codes. I think I still have one of those cheat code books down in my basement. Oh my god, I miss that era. Jeez. But no, there have been a lot of good, I'm still trying to figure out what the heck is going on with the Coda remake, because apparently it's it got delayed indefinitely, which is a huge bummer because I've been looking forward to that game for so freaking long. I didn't even want a remake. I wanted like just like Coder 3. Like I wouldn't really give a shit about if they remake Coder 1, even though Coder 1 was really, 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 really good. Just make it a trilogy. Just make another game. Why do you have to make a remake? We've talked about this already. I don't want to talk about it again, but stop making remakes. Just make sequels. What the hell? Like we don't need remakes of shit. I want sequels. I want new shit. Come on.
I mean, I agree, but there are some things that.
And this is me saying that I've never played the original Coder. I played Coder 2. Never played the original, but I still don't want a remake of the original. I just want a new one.
Why wouldn't you want to play history? There's still new content for you.
I mean, technically, yeah, but it's also like I want new shit. Like,
so you sound like a toddler. I just want new shit.
No, because like, okay, I get the appeal to the old games 100% because Coder 2 was incredible, right? But at the same time, like, just make a Coder 3. Like, why not?
Because maybe
they have so much time after Coder 3 that they can work with. Like, shit.
Well, why ruin a good thing? You've all seen sometimes you make sequels of things that are.
They could still ruin it with the remake. I mean, come on.
I mean,
the remake could be ass.
Also playing it close to home. Like, they're going to. You know how this is what I've been saying about the AAA market. They play things safe. They're doing remakes right now. Because they know that's what's going to try and make them money. This is not 2002 anymore, my friend.
I don't care. I don't care.
This is why I like the AA and the indie market because they literally saved the giving. They saved the gaming industry. Like they have that I don't give a fuck attitude, and they make what they want. They're really creative, and they do what they want. They follow their passions because they're not on a pedestal. They can do whatever the fuck they want, and that's what's been making them the money. Hi-Fi Rush, Shadow Drop, $30, did more than a $70 game. It was just like, wow.
Dude, I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you, dude. I do like AA games and AAA games as well. It's just, I wish I just had a better, system to actually play it on, because right now I don't.
And as the technology becomes more accessible at a cheaper price, you're going to see better AA.
Oh, yeah, we will.
And we've already been seeing better AA and indie games that have the quality of like a AAA studio. Like some of these soundtracks I've been playing on these indie games, Naruto Boy, that game is so fire and it's so retro and it's so cool. Yeah, you got Kung Fury. Kung Fury came out in 2015 and it is beautiful.
Yo, that movie is amazing. Holy shit.
That movie is so great and such an interesting and off-topic way.
Some of my favorite games that I played in the past couple of years were AA games. Like I played Observation, incredible ass game. Even if it wasn't like action based or anything, you controlled an AI robot. That game was so much fun. I love that game. Freaking Fez is one of my favorite games of all time. Fez is awesome. Yeah. Super Meat Boy, like come on. Like all these games like paved the way for all these indie AA games to really thrive. And Sony used to really, really care about their indie AA developers because like most of the free games of the month were these AA games. And they're starting to get back into it. They are. I mean, we got Meet Your Maker. That's a AA game. And that's a new release that they're giving away for free. That's kind of lit. Love it. We got Stray, which was absolutely incredible. Loved that game. So they're starting to do a little bit more with, the AA games for the game of the month. Because I'm the games of the month this month, right? I forget exactly which ones they were. Besides, we lost it. Besides, so it was like Meet Your Maker, Sackboy Big Adventure, which, Sackboy Big Adventure, that's a AAA game. That's a spin-off of the Little Big Planet, which I adore Little Big Planet. Oh my god. And then Tales of Iron, which I know less than nothing about. But it is another AA game. It's not, I don't know if I would consider that an indie game, but yeah, it's another indie game, AA game.
Yeah.
So they're starting to do more. Like they're giving us at least one big game every month, and then like two smaller games, right? Two smaller indie games, and half the time, like the big game that they release, I'm like, whatever. But the smaller games, I'm like, oh shit, all right, cool. I'm kind of into this. I mean, like last month they gave us Minecraft Dungeons. We played that on Monday. I had fun with the game. I mean, it is a pretty simplistic dungeon crawler, but I had fun with it.
I wouldn't say it's simplistic. I would say it's deceptive. You think you're gonna just breeze your way
Yo,
out,
right? Is deceptively hard. I was like, what the hell?
You're not.
What the hell? But like even like last month, along with that, they also and along with Minecraft Dungeons, which I would argue was a smaller game, they gave Battlefield 2042. Fuck if I care. But they also gave us Code Vein, and Code Vein's lit. Code Vein was lit.
I really wanted to play that game for a long time.
Exactly. Like that game gave me like oh my god, what's the game series that you're in love with? Freaking what? The anime RPG that you were super into.
Yes.
No. Nier Automata.
Oh.
It gave me that vibes, like hard.
It is not a Nier Automata type game, but
no, it's much more of an RPG than Nier Automata is.
Yeah,
but
I think you're talking about the art style.
Yeah.
It gave me more like God Eater vibes with the art style.
True, yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you God Eater.
I think it's the same. They're all in the same realm of creation. I know that. Like it's the people that did God Eater are like somehow. I know it's got to be the same people.
You're looking it up?
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same guys as God Eater. But like they keep on doing this thing, right? Even back in February, they gave us Ali Ali World, which was awesome. But then they also gave us Evil Dead. But then they also gave us Mafia: The Definitive Edition, which was a much, much bigger game. So they're doing these smaller games. So smaller games along with the bigger games to the PS Plus. And that gives me hope that Sony's starting to care more and more about game preservation, especially with PS Plus. Like if you look at their like tier list, they are starting to develop the list a lot more, you know, because they're putting more bigger games onto the list. Like they put on Tekken 7, Scarlet Nexus, Horizon Forbidden West, and Borderlands 3 onto the different tiers of PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium.
But then, developer. That's what I thought.
Is the same developer? Lit. Oh yeah, I could have told you that. I didn't know Bandai Namco did God Eater, but yeah.
I should have known that. I played both those fucking games. Jesus.
Bandai Namco hardly misses. But so Sony is slowly getting better with game preservation. It's gonna take a while, but they're getting there. They're getting there slowly but surely. I just hope that they continue on this trend, you know, because they can easily just.
But how do you let the younger console usurp you? That's what I don't understand. Like, Xbox is so much more forward thinking right now.
Oh, they are. They are.
Maybe it's because they have the money to be. I don't know, but like, they're so much more forward thinking right now.
Well, it's stupid as shit, right? Because
they got into it at the PS2. They like. Sony was already ahead of them in the console department, so
they were.
You let a younger console usurp you. Like
I think that's why that happened, because Sony got kind of comfortable with where they were, so they're like, okay, we don't really need to worry about our past generations so much because we're already ahead of Microsoft and Xbox so much in terms of tech, in terms of games and exclusives, that we don't really need to worry about that shit.
a lot of games that were on all three consoles, and the PC, of course, performed the best. Xbox performed the second best, and Sony always came in last when it came in terms of performance. But they had
only until the PS4, only until the PS4, and that was only 2 generations after because the Xbox lasted, the Xbox and 360 lasted far longer than the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, and PlayStation 3. Because
I was agreeing with you by saying that, like, that's the thing, like. They, like, even though, like, Sony didn't have the worst performance out of all three categories or consoles,
yeah,
it still had the most popularity.
Like, yeah, 100%.
Like, it didn't even, like, they had so, like, that's why they got cocky, because even when they were everybody still goes to the fucking store to get a PS fucking 2 or 3.
Yeah, like, exactly. The PlayStation has outsold Xbox every single step of the way. So
I mean, no, I think they won the 360 round, but then like PS4,
slightly, because even the PS3, like, it did numbers. Like, performance wise, the 360 was far superior to the 3. The 3 has so many freaking issues, and they sunk so much money into the whole Blu-ray thing for gaming to make their games look better that I feel like they lost a lot of money on that because they held themselves because now they can't do anything with those PS3 games.
And now Xbox has their whole library on their newest console, and Sony doesn't.
You mean library?
What you say about Xbox, no matter what you say about Xbox,
yeah, no,
they have their whole, and even the third-party titles that came out on both systems. Now a lot of people want to get an Xbox so they can play it. Like The Darkness is a great game. Came out on both systems.
Yeah, seriously.
Guess what? You can only play it on Xbox at 60 frames with high def resolution. And
dude, I get it, man. It's
so, like, how do you let a younger console usurp you, Sony? Because you get too comfortable.
They got too comfortable. That's literally it. And I thought them bringing on Bluepoint would have given them the edge because Bluepoint does a great job with, PC ports and stuff like that. And that's really big on preservation, making games available to more people. Huge boost to game preservation. And I don't really know why they didn't just let Bluepoint head the Last of Us port. Maybe because Naughty Dog is greedy as fuck, or what? I'm not really sure. Ugh, that was a huge bummer. Because I was like, I want people, like, I'm not gonna be one of those douchebags that like, The Last of Us doesn't perform well on PC, because that's just like, that reflects badly on PlayStation. Like, what the fuck? Like, I want people, like, I don't give a shit if, this game is only playable on PlayStation. I want people to experience this game because it's such a freaking good game. Like, God.
I feel about the Steam Deck. I want everybody to experience the Steam Deck.
You have such a hard-on for the Steam Deck.
Yeah, and I'm getting it for
reasonably.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun. But I 100% agree. Like, I think Sony needs to, really think, because here's the thing. I think Sony's playing the long game finally and realizing what putting games on PC is going to do for them. Because once Spider-Man 2 hits PC, I'm thinking all the way 6 years into the future. Once Spider-Man 2 and Logan and, God of War Ragnarok hits PC, that's going to be an extra, like, couple million pocket, bro.
We talked about this before, and I was saying how Sony and Xbox, right? They both need to just be like, look, exclusivity is done. Yeah, we'll still have our name titles and stuff, but anything new that comes out, we're just gonna keep anything new that we acquire under our umbrella is just gonna. Yeah, exactly. Anything new that we acquire is just gonna be continued to be multi-platform. Like Xbox has been doing that with Call of Duty, not with Bethesda, but every developer that Sony has gotten since last year or whatever, they've already said that they're going to keep their games multi-platform, and I applaud Sony for that. Really, I really do. That goes a long way for game preservation.
I mean, keeping shit multi-platform. They don't want to be hypocrites. You know
Well,
what
yeah, exactly.
on Microsoft. So like, what kind of shit would that be if they're just like,
Well, like because
oh, man.
Microsoft got Bethesda, and all the Bethesda games are going exclusive, and I'm kind of salty about it. I really, really am because Bethesda used to be one of my favorite devs of all time, and now I have to get like Xbox Game Pass so I can get it. Like,
if it was the opposite, you wouldn't feel sorry for Xbox fans. You'd be like, hey.
No, I would because like, I was really happy that when they got Bungie, they decided to keep all future Bungie games, which is Destiny and anything else that they release, multi-platform.
Destiny, like it was. So
it's Destiny right now, but like any future is any future DLC because they could have easily made was it Lightbringer or the most recent DLC, most recent expansion for Destiny 2. They could have easily made that a PlayStation exclusive, easily, and with it being free to play, that could have got a lot of people to buy more PlayStations. A lot, all right? That would have been a home run for them because Destiny has such a huge fan base, and if
it's not that strong for somebody to buy a whole console for it. Not anymore. Maybe like in the first two.
No, but the fact that Destiny 2 went free to play, and it's only being supported by expansions, and it's going to be going on for a long while. And who knows if there's going to be a Destiny 3, but probably. Destiny 2 has already lasted a lot longer than Destiny 1 has. But the fact that it's free to play and it's being supported by expansions, they could have easily made all expansions or all future expansions exclusive to PlayStation because then that would have turned a lot of players over, a lot of really die-hard Destiny fans over to PlayStation.
About it. Why do you think they didn't do that? They are about their money. If they really thought that they were that hot shit that they could do that, they would have done it.
Fair.
But they didn't. So they know that they're not hot shit like that.
You got a point. You got a point. I won't fight you on that. You got a point on that.
Their fucking money. If anything has been clear.
They do.
So
I always thought that having your shit on multiple platforms just garners you more money in the long run. Yeah, sure, those systems get a cut of the profits, but you also get a decent cut of that as well because you own that developer, you own that property.
Well, then it depends on how savage. It depends on how savage they are about it because different people, different platforms have higher rates. Like you might get Sony. If you want to know all three platforms have different rates of what they're going to want to pay you.
Yeah, no, that's true. And I understand why Microsoft is making a lot of their games exclusive because Phil Spencer even came out and said that Game Pass is bleeding them. He said that straight up. Game Pass is bleeding them dry. It's not making them any profit. If anything, it's losing them money.
Yeah. I mean, it is
because they don't make any profit from from system sales. They make zero profit from Xbox Series X sales. That's huge, and it's because of Game Pass. They get constant monthly subscription payments from Game Pass, but they're losing all of that money from new game sales because of Game Pass. Because almost every single game is on Game Pass.
But they also cared about their customers enough to try that.
Yeah, exactly. And Microsoft has fuck you money, so it's whatever.
Exactly. So they're one of the biggest companies in the world. If they want to fucking give their games out almost for free, they can do it. Epic Games gives out
That's the difference.
Gives out free games every month. Steam gives out how many free games?
Yeah, that's the difference between Microsoft and Sony because Sony PlayStation is completely separate from Sony. Microsoft Xbox, I'm pretty sure that the parent company Microsoft throws a lot of money to Xbox, a lot. Whereas Sony as a parent company, I doubt throws a lot of money to PlayStation because, if you look at Xbox versus Sony, Sony's net worth or PlayStation's net worth far surpasses Xbox. Far. But if you look at Microsoft as a company versus Sony as a company, Microsoft is astronomically high. you know. So it's very different with how they run their companies, how much, kickbacks they give to each sub company, right? So there's a lot that goes into it, and I understand it, I get it. And that's why they could support Game Pass, because Xbox gets so much kickback from Microsoft.
And the third party, aka also the PC, they got 2 consoles.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know how much Microsoft actually gets from PC stuff, because there's so many, like, they get stuff from Windows, and that's basically it. And Windows is free. So
yeah, but also think about how many people install, like how many computers come installed with Windows.
Fair. Basically every single one. Basically every single one.
Going to be making eternal money.
Like, no, I mean, of course they are. Of course they are, because they are the end all be all for operating systems. Like, it's either that or it's Linux, which only hackers use, or it's Apple, and only Apple uses Apple. So it's like, okay, whatever.
Like, and then because of the fact that Xbox shares everything with PC, they're getting the Xbox money, they're getting the PC money, they're getting the Steam Deck money, they're getting the INEO money. Like, any PC gaming device, anything, they're either using.
They're even getting Linux shit too.
Yeah, and they're getting Linux. Like, you're either using one of these 3 platforms to buy games on. So like, and they're doing it on Windows 11. Like, They did. They really did. Now how long Xbox and Game Pass can survive doing what they're doing is still to be seen. But they could always shut it down and just stick to the PC, and they'd be fine.
I mean, I doubt they would ever shut down Xbox.
They probably would, but they probably
they might like dial back Game Pass a bit, because like, if you think about it, Game Pass has only been for 2 generations.
Right, or make it more expensive.
Game Pass was never a thing with the 360. At least I'm not. Right. I don't think it was.
No.
It started with the Xbox One, right?
It was. Yeah, it was not. It was not a thing.
It's only been going on for 2 generations, so it's only really been going on for about 15 years.
Also, I have to commend Xbox, because they're doing something that Sony's not, and they're giving free next gen upgrades. And I'm like, that's been one of the biggest pet peeve of Sony's.
It still goes dev to dev. It still goes dev to dev.
Just about pretty much every game on Xbox that has a counterpart, you get a free upgrade.
Yeah, fair. That's fair.
And then Sony's just like, hey, here's this upgrade plan. Here's this, if you pay me $10, $15, I can give you the next one. I'm like, bro, just give me the fucking PS. Now some games come with the PS5 and PS4 version, but they also add an extra charge for that. It's like,
usually it's like the deluxe copy, because that's what happened with Hogwarts Legacy too. Hogwarts Legacy, you only got both versions with the deluxe copy. That was like, and I at this point in the generation, I understand it, because we're like 4 years in to next gen. So at this point, developers should be solely focusing on next gen. Again, that's another conversation to have for another time. That's just my opinion. But yeah,
still scummy about it. But the
only reason we haven't seen that with Xbox is because there haven't been a whole lot of next gen only titles for Xbox. Also, they haven't had a whole lot of exclusives.
Plenty of games where there's like, hey, this game is coming out on Xbox One and Xbox Series X. Here's a free upgrade. Like, yay! Like, it's their, like, it's one of their bread and butter things that they announced when they announced the new Xbox, and then they
like I'm completely okay with like the whole games being on last gen and current gen being part of like the deluxe edition, especially in like where we are with next gen now, or current gen now, I guess you should say. I agree with that, because a lot of people still they kept their PlayStation 4s in some capacity,
because nobody knew when they were going to be available.
Well, there's that. There's also that. But like going forward, I think if that's a practice that they continue, I would be okay with that because that's just giving you 2 versions of the game for like $20 more. So, like, that's lit.
No, just give them the free upgrade. Jesus Christ.
Well, no, like,
I mean, Sony.
that.
Like,
Okay, so the reason that PlayStation and even Xbox still isn't doing that is because a lot of times they sell the last gen version for like $10 cheaper. So a lot of times people go like, oh shit, I could just buy the last gen version and upgrade for free to the PS5 and save $10.
that would be smart. That would be customer counter.
No, that's shooting themselves in the foot and losing money.
That would be consumer friendly.
It's not consumer friendly. It's not consumer friendly. It's letting your consumers walk all over you.
No, it's consumer friendly.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
No. If it was consumer friendly, they might as well just give the next gen copy of the game at $60. That would be consumer friendly.
No, it would be consumer friendly if somebody bought the game on past gen, didn't think that there was going to be a next gen, nobody knew. Then they're like, hey, there's going to be a next gen.
If that happened, within the first year or two of next gen, yes, that makes sense. Which is what they were doing a lot of times.
It makes sense in general.
No, not now, because again, say it's like the tail, like 6-7 years.
I have to go fucking pee. Just give me
oh my god,
minute.
come on.
I've been drinking beer for like 3 hours. Come on.
2, not even. Back. Alright. So like I was saying. And I'm gonna fight you on this. I will fight you on this forever.
That's fine because I'm gonna have a great point, and then you're not gonna be able to.
All right, what's your point? Tell me your point.
Oh, go ahead. Keep going. Finish your rant.
I was just saying, if we're in like the 6th, 7th, 8th year of next gen, having a game and assuming that like last gen games are still either being made, 1, or 2 being sold at a lower price point. That does not do Sony good. That does not do any video game developer good. Because that's just a constant loophole. Dude, I've been done with all 3. That's just a constant loophole that they're giving players. And they might as well just sell the game completely at the lower price point. Because otherwise it doesn't make sense. who would buy the game next gen only if every single game had a free upgrade and they could save $10 every single time? That makes zero sense.
No, it's funny because when you're on the PC side of things, you buy a game once, and then as soon as you upgrade, the game upgrades with you. Oh my God! Look at that. As long as you have more.
That's PC, dude. That's totally different.
And what do you think a console pretty much is? It's just a simplified PC. So
It
why
is,
not have
but
it to buy a game on the last gen, play it on the next gen, and because the console is more powerful, it can play the game at a more powerful frame rate and performance. That just makes fucking sense. Also, what makes fucking sense? Not getting double charged for internet. Once I pay for internet for the Wi-Fi, I have internet for my PC. I don't need to get double charged for internet like I do on console.
Dude, that's been a thing. That's been a thing with consoles forever.
That doesn't make it right.
I'm not saying it is, but it's just been a thing for consoles forever. That's even with Microsoft. Microsoft does the exact same thing. So it's like,
but that literally doesn't make it right. They're doing it because it's a console. That's because they like. I don't need an internet by design is connected to the PC as long as you pay your internet. I have to pay one charge. That's it. I should only have to pay for a game once, and as long as I upgrade to the next one,
and I agree with you for that bit.
That makes sense. That makes sense. That's why I was just like, I have to be careful when I buy a game on PlayStation now, because a lot of the games are PS4. I have to be careful buying a PS4 game on PlayStation 5, because if it plays at 30 frames, I'm not really going to be having a good time. Wow. And I don't know if it's I don't know if it's going to be able to. Some games it does upgrade with the PS5. Some games don't.
That's why that's why I rarely buy games day one anymore. But two,
have to worry about that.
That's just a console issue in general. That's not really, and I mean, I guess this was just a console conversation in general, anyways. But PC has always been like that, where like you buy a game at whatever price point it is, and they upgrade it consistently. Well, actually, kind of. They only upgrade it up until, or update it up until, a certain point, because like if you play Coder, it's not consistently updated right now. It still looks the same as it did back in whatever.
It's not that. It's just like when you get a more powerful PC, you can play the game at higher settings, which means the game literally upgrades with the PC. Like it's just natural. Like the more powerful your PC is, the PC will automatically go for the max settings that you can play your PC at.
Well,
more powerful PC and automatically play it at higher settings, and you don't have
the PC version of the game also has a lot more customizable options than console versions do. Console versions are automatically held back by the tech that's already in that system. It's formatted differently. It's a format issue, dude.
Yeah, but you could also have the console.
No, because like for the consoles, you can't just swap out. You can't just swap out components in the console like you can with a PC. PC is garnered towards that, so devs, when they make a game for PC, they automatically make it differently.
They could.
Like there's a reason why we have not seen a console version of Star Citizen. All right, there's a very good reason why we have not seen a console version of Star Citizen.
But my point. My point is they could make free upgrades for these games if they wanted to.
They have, from console to console, yeah, but it's also that's up to the devs themselves, not so much the consoles. If the devs want to give a free upgrade, that's up to them. And for the first couple of years, sure.
And they'll probably get pushback on that by the publisher.
Well, there's that too. But again, this is not so much a tech issue, it's more of a money issue. Like PC devs, they don't have to worry about, making their game for a whole new system.
I mean, your argument is that it makes sense to pay for a newer version of a game, and I'm saying no, it doesn't. It should upgrade when you get a more powerful device. It should be able to play at a higher level. It should come like whether you program it like that, whether you have to program it manually,
No,
then do
yeah,
that.
no, I get that. I get what you're saying, but like, okay,
That's all I'm saying.
no. So here's the pushback to that, right? Like, you buy a brand new PC game, but that won't be able to be played on like a really old PC, right? Like, most times it will play like, you could buy it and you could play it. It will play like shit because the tech that PC has can't support that game, right?
Why would you buy a game that you're not ready to play yet?
That's what I'm saying. So like, when you're playing a next gen console, that's like years into its, life, right?
Yeah. But
What's the point of those devs still making it for PS4 and offering a free upgrade to PS5?
when you buy a new PC and you buy a game that plays like 30 FPS and dog shit on the last PC, but you have an upgraded PC, the game is still going to be 30 or 60 bucks. It doesn't matter what kind of PC you have.
Yeah, because you can upgrade those components individually. That's different, bro.
But
like console developers, they make games specifically for that console with the tech that console has, because that console is not going to change. PC is totally different. PC, you're basically buying the unlocked version of that game. Essentially, you're buying the fully customizable unlocked version of that game that you can customize to your heart's content. Can't do that on console because you have set components that can only be used to play certain games.
But my whole point is it makes sense to give somebody a free upgrade, which is why Xbox came out with the smart delivery system that when there's a PS4, when there's a next gen, past gen game, and you get it on the past gen, you get your next gen, you get the free upgrade, because it makes sense. They wouldn't do that if it did not make sense. And once again, it's one of the good selling points of the reverse compatibility of Xbox Microsoft.
No, you're right. I do like that whole system a lot. Like, a lot.
That's the whole point. Exactly. And it just looks and feels mighty scummy that you got Horizon Zero Dawn and Ghost of Tsushima with these economic upgrade plans. And it's just like, bruh, why? You're already getting millions off of this game. But whatever. You do you. Like, your business. Like whatever, but
I get it.
It makes sense.
It does. I'll give you that, yeah. But at a certain point, it won't even matter, just because, like, they're not going to be making last gen games after so long, anyways. So.
And that's the thing. They probably have an extended lifespan because of the whole COVID thing, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's whatever.
There's a couple games that are coming out that are not going to have PS4 or Xbox One copies.
Yeah.
And that just makes sense because after so long, you need these devs to just start focusing on next gen. Otherwise, what's the point? That's the issue we saw with freaking Gotham Knights. That's the issue we saw with even Hogwarts Legacy. Hogwarts Legacy, the last gen version of the game, it got pushed back a ton. It's now pushed back till May or June. Yeah. I forget, but yeah. So, after so long, having the free update. Okay, I'll back up a little bit. Having the free update on games does make sense, but always having it through the entire life of current gen doesn't make sense.
I mean, it would just be consumer friendly. That's it. Because then you also think about people that can or cannot afford to pay however much money for a next gen console until a certain point in time. Whatever.
I guess it's just a matter of these devs just don't want to be giving away two versions of the same game away for free.
Oh,
because it would be two completely different versions of the game.
Completely. I mean,
well, yeah.
It's not like there's going to be any DLC or extra content. It's just going to
Well,
be
you
a
don't know.
different performance.
You don't know. There could be different DLC and stuff like that. Like unless they make the DLC exclusive to next gen.
All right, now you're trying to be funny.
I'm not. I'm serious. Like okay,
But
imagine if
don't be
they.
funny. Don't be funny because we're not talking about that. Don't be funny.
I'm not
Like,
being funny. You brought it up. You brought up the conversation in next gen or of DLC.
being funny.
I'm not. No, seriously though, like if they made every single game like free or not free, but like free next gen update, or like if you buy the PS5 version, you also get the PS4 version, which a lot of games have done.
Yeah.
They did that with oh my god, what the hell is the title? Well, they did that with Horizon. If you bought the PS5 version, you also got the PS4 version. That was a free update. But I don't know if the DLC they're gonna make like if you have to buy the DLC twice for each version of the game. That I don't know. They haven't really said anything, so that's gonna be interesting. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know where I'm coming from. Like if these devs keep giving away at least one version of the game away for free, like they will lose money on that. It will be consumer friendly, but they're gonna lose money.
I mean, well, depends on legal signages and contracts, and that can be
Well,
reworked
fair.
if need be.
True, it can.
But
It
I
can.
mean, at the end of the day, like it comes down to politics, I guess.
Well,
Which
yeah,
is
of course. Everything always comes down to politics.
it's really annoying, but like I feel like once again, like it just when it comes to game preservation, PC is going to just be standing in the long run because you
Well,
can
duh.
literally emulate and do whatever. And once people kind of get fed up with all the getting double charged for certain things that they shouldn't be, like internet, cough cough. Shout out to you console players, wake up, wake up. Then I mean, I think things are going to balance out one day. Uh, I I hope that Sony and Microsoft both get better at game. I hope Nintendo gets way better at game preservation. They've been kind of scummy about it too.
They've always been scummy. They've been scummy since day freaking one.
Really scummy. So hopefully they get better about it. Maybe we get a Switch 2 by the end of the year or
We
an
won't.
announcement.
We won't. We won't even get an announcement. They're gonna ride the Switch until it's no longer relevant.
I mean, only thing people need is a hardware patch. That's it. Just give it a little bit
It's
buff.
not. You can't do a hardware patch. You need a whole other
I know
system.
you can't always be just make a new console, give it a nice little 60 frame update, you know, and then you'll be chilling for the next 10 years. That's all you gotta do. Just all you gotta do.
As soon as the Steam Deck goes open source, then you'll see a Switch 2. That's exactly when you're going to see a Switch 2. Until then, nah. It's basically the equivalent. The Steam Deck is the equivalent of Tesla in automotive, right? Like Tesla paved the way for like incredible electric cars. As soon as they released their patent, so many other car dealers started making electric cars. As soon as the Steam Deck makes itself open source, you're going to see a whole lot of other mobile gaming systems.
I mean, even now, like I have a Switch and I have a Steam Deck, and my Switch is more akin to a coaster, while my
Collecting dust in the corner of your room, yeah.
literally, and also it just looks like a Happy Meal toy compared to my Steam Deck.
Well, duh.
It like the whole thing sits at the size of the screen itself, which means I still have the joystick and everything else. It's so funny. It just feels like a Happy Meal toy. And my hands don't get cramped anymore. Like I can just play it for hours and be comfortable. Like, it's so beautiful, so nice. And I can play like AAA games on it, have that cinematic experience in my bed, or cuddling on the couch, or just whatever. It's just
it's basically a mini PC in your pocket. But guys, there's a lot to talk about with this, and we've talked a lot about this. And I promise we're going to get better with structure, but we were pretty good this week. I think we were pretty good. This is a pretty good episode. We kind of flowed from topic to topic, I think. We're going to get better, I promise. I don't think he thinks we did a good job. Well, if we keep drinking like this, then maybe we won't. This should just be the drunk gaming podcast at this point.
The not gaming podcast, because we had to sit here and look up things on stream, which we apologize about.
Hey, you know what? It's a stream. It's live. Shit comes up, and we don't have time to just pause it and look up shit. Like, come on.
Well, I mean, if you don't try to call people out and they'd be wrong about it, then don't bring it up.
I wasn't wrong. I said the majority of first person. I'm saying the majority of single player games are not online. There's a handful, but not the majority.
It's a lot more than a handful, sir.
Still not the majority. Anyways, guys, what do you think about the potential PlayStation portable-ish game system that's coming out? What do you think about, how do you feel about game preservation? Do you think that more devs more platforms need to be doing more for game preservation, specifically PlayStation? Let us know all your thoughts in the comment section below. We appreciate you guys staying with us for just over 2 hours. We love you guys. We're going to get better at this, I promise. Better conversations, better topics. We just didn't have a whole lot of news this week. There's just here and there stuff. So, you know. We also need to figure out if we're actually doing like gaming news wrap-ups or if we're actually having conversations. Because we keep going back and forth on that.
Let's do both. The stream of consciousness, the flow of consciousness.
A stream of consciousness. I see what you did there.
We should call ourselves Stream of Gaming. Maybe I should make that my name. I don't know.
That's definitely a drunk thought. Anyways, guys, we love you guys. We hope you have an incredible Easter if you celebrate Easter, or just a great weekend in general. Have fun. We'll see you guys Monday. He won't see you Monday. I'll at least see you Monday. Maybe KJ will pop on for a game stream. Either way, we'll see you guys on Monday for a proper game night. And then next Thursday, hopefully KJ will pop on for the proper gaming lounge. And I hope you guys have a great night. Peace out.
Cheers.